today's topic. A woman asked me, why don't men open up to me more in romantic relationships? And I posted a tweet. All right. I basically said, hey, the reason why men don't open up emotionally is because men treat their emotional sanctity the way women treat their sexual sanctity. Right? And when you give up either before you're comfortable, it always makes you feel slightly cheapened.
Absolutely. I agree.
Right? Go ahead.
Yo, what you mean go ahead? You said everything that doesn't have to be said right there.
All right.
It was like that was damn well near genius, my dude.
Right. And the last line it says is, we men will open up, but it's only when we want to and how we want to. And one thing I really want to tell women is, like, when it comes to emotions and what we go through, men are talking about it just when you're not there. We feel comfortable talking about it amongst each other, right? Because it's a space where we feel like we can communicate and we won't be judged for how we do it.
Do you talk about your boom boom smell with your significant other? No, but you probably talk about it with your girlfriends.
Why? Because they have poom pooms as well, and they might understand, right? You're like, yo, girl, Sarah, where'd you get your poom poom fragrance? And she's like, man, I was at Chanel. You know?
I went to Bed Bath and Boom Boom.
Here's funny. A girl one time, she bought me something called eau de toilette.
Yeah.
And I said, why'd you buy me toilet water?
You stupid.
Because that's how it translates to her friends. I really thought...
You know when Abba says, yo, I'm not even that intelligent.
That was a little unnecessary, but okay. No, but I'm like, why'd you buy me toilet water? Because eau de toilette translates to toilet water. Isn't that a terrible name?
Yes, it's a terrible
What's up with
name.
French people calling shit toilet water?
It's just
man?
because of the history of what it is.
You want to know what they call their favorite sandwich? A croque monsieur. You know what a croque monsieur means?
Croque monsieur is bite mister. It's even worse.
Yeah,
but they have the same thing with an egg on it. It's a croque madame,
which means
bite misses. The reason they call it croque madame is because there's an egg on it.
Still nasty. Anyways, sidebar aside.
Yeah.
I said this and a lot of people went crazy in the comments. And one thing I've noticed is whenever I talk about men's vulnerability and how we feel comfortable relating this stuff, a lot of women feel very comfortable interjecting and telling us what it should look like. How comfortable. I'll give you guys an example of a comment. 1. The idea that women are cheapened for having intercourse early in a relationship is incredibly sexist. First off, I didn't say anything wrong with you sleeping early with a man. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to sleep with people early on, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's what they got.
But when you sleep with somebody before you're comfortable and ready to do so, you do feel cheapened.
Because you were pressured doing so. Because they pressured you, because society pressured you, but there was some kind of pressure you. And regardless of that, you did it before you wanted to do it.
Yes.
So, but you didn't get that.
And she said, this mindset that you men have is the reason why relationships fail. Communication is necessary for any healthy relationship, human connection, and that's going to require that one of the parties make the first move to be vulnerable. Men should get used to doing that because they're in the relationship too. Women should not be and are no longer being okay with bearing the brunt of emotional carrying the relationship and laying down the initial emotional foundation for the relationship. Then you shouldn't date those men. If you don't like the pace that they're going at, don't date them. The same way if I meet a girl, she says, I want to mate till marriage. I don't force my way on them. I don't tell them what they have to change. I said, I accept the fact that we have a difference in how we view things, and I move on with my day. But it strikes me as odd that you say that men are the reason why a lot of relationships are failing because they're preserving their emotions.
It's not one thing.
Why are you putting that kind of pressure on men? They will open up when they're comfortable. The same way, ladies, you will sleep with men when you're comfortable.
And it's fine.
I don't endorse men pressuring you, ladies, the same way I don't endorse y'all pressuring us. I've done that before. Why? Because of society's messaging and because the person I was with, I opened up when I knew I wasn't ready. And it made me feel sick. And I didn't want to be around that person because I felt like they saw me naked in a way that I wasn't comfortable with.
You see, ladies, you know when you open up, you know when you have angel courses before your time?
Yeah.
And that backfires. And the guy calls you XYZ after that. You were not ready. You did it. You feel cheapened, and now that is being used against you.
That's
That
right.
feels bad. I have a lot of my girlfriends that it was done to. I've seen that,
Yeah.
and that is bad.
Yeah.
Well, imagine that whenever you open up before you're ready. And that is used against you after that. How you feel is the same thing. That's why I love the parallel that you did when you did that. I was like,
Yeah.
that's exactly the same thing. You have to be ready to open up.
Yeah. And also, it's opening up to women because we're fine with opening up to other men generally. It's just y'all because it's a different thing. It's a different way of communicating, so it takes us longer.
It's not because it's something against women. It's just because you are different. There are some things that we're gonna have to explain to you just because you don't understand. The same way there's some things that women have to explain to us because we do not get it.
Yeah, you
because
guys are-
we will never experience it.
You guys are probably way more comfortable discussing certain experiences with other women much
And-
faster.
and it's
understandable.
normal. Yeah.
I feel the same way about people in the military. I'm much more apt to talk to them about my experience because they understand it. I don't like talking about it with civilians. It feels weird. Same thing with my experience growing up in Ethiopia. It's much easier to talk about it with someone who's from there. In that same token, men have certain shared lived experiences that they can understand. That's all it comes down to. So understand that men aren't afraid of being vulnerable. We are capable of it. We're just not necessarily comfortable with it. Another thing to also acknowledge is that, ladies, you claim you want vulnerable men, but sometimes you shame us. And I've done another video on this where I interviewed women and they talked about it, where they've laughed at men's vulnerability, where they said it was too much. So it's like, yeah, show me what's on the inside, but then when you look, you're like, that was too much. Well, that kind of
That's
makes
what
us
you
feel
asked
some
for.
type of way.
That's what you asked for.
Look in those comments of that thread. So many men were posting, man, I've opened up to a woman and she used it against me later on. That's a frustrating and scary thing to do. To be like, I'm going to show you where my weak point is, and then when I'm not ready for it, you stab me right there. Doesn't make me want to show you where my weak point, or future people where my weak points are, right? So we all have some work to do. We all have some work to do. Because you can say all you want. There's so many women I know who are like, I want a man to be as vulnerable as he can be. Cool story. A lot of y'all say that, and then when it happens, you find yourselves grossed out, and you don't acknowledge the fact that you've engaged in that behavior. Well, you've psychologically told that man that what he did was wrong. So, of course, in his future relationships, he's not going to do it. Listen, I've done that whole thing. I've done that soy boy, open my heart up right off the top, let her know the things, and she wasn't okay with it. Part of it was my fault, but also her reaction was crazy. And look, I learned from it. Now, it doesn't mean that now I never open up. I do, but I wait until I'm ready.
You said soy boy.
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Soy boy?
Soy boy.
It's a soy boy when, you just, it's funny.
Yeah, you just picture a weak
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I
And you know what's a little soy boy?
What?
A soybean.
You really thought that shit was funny.
I think that shit is hilarious.
I'm not mad at you.
Little soybean.
Yeah. So I just want to give you guys that perspective, understanding why we are different and how that manifests. But go talk to your guy friends, all the ones that you think never talk about their emotions. I promise you, if they do talk about it, it's with other men.
And if they don't, it's healthy to talk about it with other men.
Yeah, if you don't have an outlet, please do find one. That's whether it's a support group, whether it's an online forum, whether it's other men that you can see in regular in person, a best friend, whatever it is, find a confidant.
Yo,
and
if
also
I didn't have all the people that I have, I would actually fake that I'm an alcoholic to go to an AA meeting.
Oh yeah,
I would. If I didn't have a support group,
I ain't mad at you.
bruh, I would fake it.
I'm mad at you. And also the other thing I would say is like this is divided along gender lines, but there's some women who are like this as well. And there's some men who are extremely comfortable to be like, this is what I'm feeling. Right? Like a giant Care Bear just shooting feelings out his chest.
That's
Good
great.
for you. But most of us are this way. And so, yeah, I just want y'all to know and understand it a little bit better. Is there anything you think they should know about vulnerability?
I think we sum it up. We have this group where we talk about our and stuff like that, and that's dope. You know,
Yeah.
when we met right after like when everything was allowed to meet and everything and stuff.
Yeah.
It was good to just talk about different stuff and talk about how we live this. It's just different. It's just different from a male perspective.
Yeah.
If male understand it, yeah, I'm gonna talk about it with my significant other because that's some other thing. But there's some things that she's not gonna be able to understand.
No. Remember, I told you guys things that I've literally never spoken to with anyone in my whole life.
Yes.
Ever.
Yes.
And for me, it was a space where I felt comfortable because I knew I wasn't going to be judged some type of way. And I knew that you guys could understand even the way I communicate. And I need that. We all need that, you know? So I just wanted to shed a little bit light on men's vulnerability and that whole idea. And yeah, you know, I think we could all do better. Even me, you know, there's been times in my life where I've been a little bit ashamed of my own behavior. So I'm not doing this to cast stones. It's just to let you guys know what it is that we live. So guys, if you guys agree with this, if you guys feel the same way, please share your stories below. Let other people be able to read some of your experiences. It helps other people to realize, oh, this is a real thing.
Indeed.
The same way the Me Too movement made me realize a lot of bad male behaviors, you know what I mean? This is a chance for you ladies to recognize a lot of male experiences and what they go through, right? So that's all. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below. I look forward to reading that.